Hello, John Dilworth here. Thank you all for your wonderful, very, very appreciative response to my student films. They're important. That piece that you send out into the world after your 4 years of investment in your craft. The world has changed tremendously since 1985, I must say, and it's great to see this kind of evolution. So I'm very excited to have been a part of it. Really, I'll talk about Pierre a little bit more. I want to thank a couple of people, Casey and Eowyn from Canada, and our own Kevin Piastra, super donor. They're keeping us moving, and that's important. And thank you all also for your emails. Getting so many wonderful emails, and again, I try to get to everyone, but please pardon me. I do read them, and they're very exciting, and I'm happy to get them. And I respond to those that are essential, essential, and they're all essential. Pierre, back in 85, animation was still done by hand. We had the machines coming on, some great stuff being done, and I even found myself working in the very early days of computers with Judson Rosebush, who was a pioneer in New York City at the time, and he had a computer animation studio, and I was able to get in there, and I started digitizing. That's how I started in CG, digitizing. But alas, it didn't stick, and although I saw the future of it, of course, it made total sense. I mean, we could make films completely on our own, but as an independent filmmaker, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking of the commercial, making the big dollars, which, oh, mommy and daddy, you did raise us wrong. And I just had a fantasy that if you got the right software, right computer, you could make films all by yourself. And voila, it's true. There's no kidding. I doubt you could see anything. These blue pencils, they're very light. I'm sorry, I just haven't got around to ordering the big stuff, which is my favorite, red. Red is such a great pencil. I know, I should do it just because it's you and I, and we need this stuff. But we'll see. So Pierre, that was a couple of years, and Howard Beckerman was a New York animator. He didn't go over to the West Coast like most people. And Gil Moret as well. Gil Moret worked at UPA. And another New York, brilliant talent. He looked like Geppetto. And he just won people's love. Howard too. Howard's a historian, a major historian, author. But Gil, he had given me one of the most sober pieces of advice that I still, of course, I'm going to share it with you. And it came about after Disney had gone through the school and looked at portfolios. And there were selecting people to go down to Orlando, Florida, as part of their program, and I wasn't one of the selected, and I was curious. I wanted to know if they even saw my portfolio. And Gil, looking like Geppetto, the sweet man, he smiled with his unlit cigar in his hand. Maybe he walked around with a cigar. It was quite a character. And he just said, "John, so many are called, so few are chosen." And I was like, what? And there it is. That's the game, man. That's the game. So if you're not willing to play that game by the rules, you got to do something else. Something where you can be protected and sensitive, if you're sensitive that way. And we're all sensitive. And of course, it was terrible. I couldn't believe it. And only later, my relationship with Disney was always in and out, but I ultimately never had a show with them. And the last effort we did together, it's a few years back, called Prudence, but like many of you know, that show turned out to be too weird for them. So there it is. And Pierre, like I said, a couple of years working on that film in class, and there was an agenda. I had an agenda. I was very much aware of what producers and directors were looking for in assistants, and of course it would be the traditional principles of overlapping fluidity, overlapping action, follow through, the consistency of form, arcs. These are just the absolute principles of good assisting and in-betweening. Forget animation. I wasn't even thinking of doing animation because, we were always told, and I believe it took 10 years to make an animator. And I wasn't about to start putting grandiose ideas in my head. I was just looking for assistant work. And so that film, it really wasn't a story. As you know, it's a little thing, but it was to demonstrate that I could do all those principles so I could get work. And did it work? I think so. It did. It did work mostly. But it's so long ago, and the haze of time and mind distorts. So we need an archaeologist to go through all that stuff. But that's why I made Pierre, is to get work, but deliberately, as I mentioned before, showcase those principles. And effects also. I think about the drips and the spinning around, and these things weren't necessary, they were deliberate. And that's how we have to go. Well, I felt that's how we should get through life. Deliberate, not unconscious, not just going along. What's the first thing we were taught in journalism school? It's to question everything. And whenever you encounter the closing of debate is the time you should worry. Right? So in animation, you want to open up a debate with your work about the principles, especially if you're going to push for some kind of employment. Look what I can do. Well, many of you have noticed that the influences in Pierre were found in Charlie Chaplin. I couldn't agree with you more, deliberate so. I studied Charlie Chaplin, his films, his short films. He'd made a lot of short films, a lot. And those are great because, well, they're short. And they're short and they have these great little funny premises. And it's not like today. Today you need a real substantial story to get the attention. The depth, that's what it is depth and a coherent idea behind it. So that we're not just, looking at ourselves in the water like Narcissus. We want to be able to have substance. As you can tell, there's no guarantees how long we're going to hang out here. I had a dear friend that I just learned passed away from cancer. He was the voice of character in Lily Laney. He was the doctor. And he was also my real estate attorney. But when I had that kind of stuff, and he didn't make it. He tried, though. It was the best we could. Oh, there was a little bit of an earthquake. Don't you worry. And what does this have to do with anything? It has to do with, this is our shot. If you didn't know it, don't forget it. We want to make everything count. And art is a great way of making it count. This human expression that we can do. Even though AI is going to get on the scene, and what's going to happen, we'll have to find a way. We'll have to find a way as AI imitates us, and then what? We're told it will be better than us. Okay, I can see that happening. You can have a program that you're writing for AI that suddenly wants you to do that. Oops! Yeah, why not? Once in a while it does that and then it recovers. It erases. So spontaneity. Everything that's uniquely human will not be uniquely human. But while I'm still human, I like to draw. Now, whether anybody's going to pay me to do that, that's another question. And we're talking about Charlie Chaplin. And of course, Josephine Baker was amazing in her expression. And she was a great product at the time as well. Because, I mean, of course, you have France, that's this whole image. They're exporting the image. And it really worked. She sold. And that's, what is that? Marketing, right? Especially at the time. She was really advanced marketing. And talented, too, And Charlie was doing his thing, making us laugh. But I think there's a website that actually studies Charlie Chaplin in a sort of very, very specific way for animators. I've lost that. So I think I booked somewhere, but it was wonderful. I mean, in terms of anticipation of his actions, his expressions, I remember watching one of those lectures, and forgive me for not getting that data for you. It would be, it's so useful, so absolutely useful. So it's the midnight hour. This is the time we're doing our animation, a drawing. And this is also part of it. If we can do a drawing, that's enough, I mean, slowly. Some days it's better than others. Right now we're going through a little bit of a confusing period, and the art is suffering somewhat. But we'll get back onto it. We'll get our momentum back. It's so important to keep the momentum. But Vicky Vo just finished the new background and looks awesome. I'll share that with you, I'm certain, one day. And regarding Pierre's crew, I remember enlisting my colleagues at school, my fellow classmates, to work on this thing, and we're all just coloring on paper. Just give a bunch of drawings to, an artist, and they would walk away and we'll get the shading right, so all the shading's consistent. And I paid them. Everybody got paid. I always believed in that, because I was an artist myself. I know how it feels. So everybody got like minimum wage or whatever it was at the time, and that's how we still roll today. Of course, everybody deserves to get paid for your time. I never believed in this intern thing, free labor. Oh yeah, you get lunch or taxi money or whatever it is. But now even that's gone, right? How could you intern on Zoom? You got to sit here with your drawings and let me breathe on your neck, and you know what I mean? Show you this thing and that thing, and then holler. What's the fun? All the fun's out of the game. You got to take some radical responsibility here. Okay, so Jim is here. And the Pink Panther, yeah, I'm really impressed by the comments on Pierre, because you nailed them all. It shows the level of intelligence, and I presume a young crowd, cinema history, and the Pink Panther, especially the Richard Williams Pink Panthers. That's what really knocked me out. It's when I saw Harris animate, right, the Pink Panther. I don't know what to think. It's just so beautiful. And now Richard Williams is in the Animation Hall of Heaven, or wherever these animators go after they've given us so much. Okay, so Jim is there. The early work. The first, actually, when I think about early work, Pierre wasn't my first little short. I had done a 30-second little piece, and that's what really set me off. We're always, we want to keep these things in mind, the firsts, because they're so vital to maintain a sense of our own continuity in life. And we have our own continuity, not just our parents, coming from our parents and continuing our parents' narrative. We have, with the right stimulus, our own. And firsts are amazing. What got me into animation and out of children's book illustrating was an owl. I was coloring an owl illustration for some children's book, and I just wanted to see it move. So that was it. I went and got myself into art school, and then I did this little 30-second swinger, it was called. It was just a man on a trapeze, and he jumps off his board, grabs the whatever these things are, swings, and he loses control. He loses control of himself. And when I saw that motion, a tremendous energy went through me. Electricity, that's all I can say. And I knew I wasn't going to go backwards. And then after that, I went and I started Pierre, right away. Because I wanted to get work and I wanted to do things. However, life doesn't really work out the way we want it to. Isn't that the way it is, right? Right. So what are we going to do? Cry like little babies? Or we're just going to go in there and keep on doing it, find another way? This whole thing about courage and being suppressed, courage has been suppressed from the very beginning. It's a problem dog for another dog. And that's just the business of it. Too bad for me. I didn't think about that back then. But we're dealing with it. I was just surfing Apple Plus the other day. Yesterday, I think, just researching what they're doing. And there's no courage. They have all the other Cartoon Network shows, all the ones you imagine, and an entire category of that brown one, that brown dog. And there's no courage. You can't find, I mean, it's like they couldn't bury it deeper enough for you to forget that that cartoon exists, because it's such a threat. I mean, how else do we explain it? It's just a miserable situation. But we're developing and writing and producing. We'll create something again. We just have to, I don't know what to tell you. These are just the mysteries of big business. Biggie business. So I think what I want to do, I'm nearly done here. I don't even know if this rant was helpful. Let me see. I think we covered everything. Jim is just trying, let me just tell you a little bit about Jim here. He's just trying to calm this wolf down, this girl. And the thing is I'm trying to get his actions, his hands. No, it's too far. Well, there it is. We continue on our journey to complete this piece of art and serve some good for our small audience of interested artists. And that is about all we could offer at the moment. And until next time, stay animated.